scoring loop for scoring, except at the end of the race when they will use video to determine the running position.
Did I say the last restart was going to be the most desperate?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I want a halfway stand by
Okay,
that.
halfway stand by that one. But I'm going to say something. That scoring loop thing has been a huge improvement in the sport. That's not a judgment call right there. It's in black and white. It's in the numbers that come up on scoring. You know Jeff Gordon. If not, we'd be riding around for another 5 laps as crew chiefs argue with officials down on pit road.
Be a single file restart inside of 10 to go to pit road and Marty.
Well, Jeff Gordon's team, Bill, has worked extremely hard on this 24 car tonight, and they've made several changes to it. You're out front now, believe it or not. Who works best behind you?
I don't know about anybody. We really haven't worked enough with anybody today. We haven't been real great. We're about the best. We're about the best we've been the whole race right now. I think hopefully our teammates will be right there pushing us along.
He's got a couple teammates behind him to help out. That never hurts, Ralph.
Jamie McMurray has fought his way all the way back to third. Larry Carter, is your car good enough to win this thing?
Well, I don't know. I wish there was a little more Fords and some more help up there for us. It's a lot of Chevrolets up there, but anything can happen in the last few laps, so we're just going to cross our fingers and try to bring it back.
Bill, what a night they've had. Penalized and now back to the top 3.
See how it all plays out in the closing laps.
Well, I mean, you know Jeff Gordon's got to be pretty happy with having a teammate behind him. I mean, that's huge on a restart with only 8 to go.
Jeff Gordon is looking for his 12th restrictor plate win and his 59th restrictor plate race. Right now, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Sr. tied with 11 wins at restrictor plate tracks. Saw Jeff Gordon with Richard Petty before the race. Richard, 10 wins here. Gordon with 6. He's the race leader. They come to the line. They get the green flag. 7 to go.
And you'll see Gordon hung back there. He did not want to get any gap in between him and the 25 car so they could make a run on him.
No, he wanted to keep the pack compressed.
Closed up.
He wanted it. Where Boyer took off a little early, and those guys behind him got a good run on him and went around him on the outside.
I think if McMurray's going to have any shot, he's going to have to jump up there on the high side, and hopefully somebody's going to come with him, but Johnson won't. But maybe the 07 of Boyer could get there.
And they've already worked over Boyer going in turn 1, and 2 or 3 of them have got by him like instantly, and that totally catches me off guard because Boyer had been protecting that inside when he was up front. He protected it like it was gold.
Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Chevy.
You know, McMurray's just going, oh, man. Looking out the windshield, looking in the mirror.
Where's Carl?
It's all Hendrick cars. And Carl is in 6th.
6 to go.
And if he jumped out, whoa, and here comes a 5 car flying up on the high side. Taking anybody that will go with him.
Right now, that would be Biffle if he can get there.
But remember the 500, it was one from the outside, man.
But the 26 has got to jump out in front of that 5 car right now if he can. And doesn't. And now he's going to get a push.
Ralph?
Oh, contact.
Boy, there was contact in there, and everybody's cheering down here in the 26 pit, but he's on the outside, which is where he really needs to be right now. On the bottom, his car is very loose. He's just hoping he can get somebody to shove him around the outside.
There's going to be a shove here in a second. Mir's the loser.
Oh, I mean,
Look at the
Kyle Busch, she turned left, man.
Left, right down across the hood of the 48, and he's going to be leading this thing in a minute.
Kyle Busch in the 5 car, trying to win 2 NASCAR races on the same track in the same day.
How cool would that be? I don't care. That would just be phenomenal.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. 2 to these guys back here.
Now, which way is the 48 his teammate going to go?
I was just thinking the same thing.
He's got 2 Hendrick teammates behind him, the 48 of Johnson and the 24 of Gordon. Gordon's in the high line behind McMurray.
Oh, man. That 5 car loose.
And he's still in the gas.
He doesn't know any other way.
He has driven that car that way all night long. He's done it down here with the Busch car in February. Every time he comes to this place, he drives the car looser here than anybody I've seen.
Now, here's where it's going to get hairy. I mean, 48 is on that 5 car, and he's on his bumper really close to the corner. It'll turn that 5 car. And I think that's probably why the 48 is backing off when they get to the corner.
He's trying, the 48, by backing off a little bit like that, is trying to help the 5 car get into the corner more than anything else. He could run up there, and if the car was a little bit better, all but bump draft.
Oh, nice move by Carl Edwards.
And Kurt Busch going to try and come along.
Oh, Busch gets a little bit loose.
He's got his teammate behind him in the 12, Ryan Newman.
Kyle Busch didn't want to see that, I'm going to tell you that. He don't want to look up and see Carl.
I don't know if the 5 has really looked in his mirror in the last 100 laps.
I'm not sure he has a mirror. I don't think he has.
I mean, I don't really think he cares who's behind him.
Gordon pushing McMurray to the lead while his teammate in the inside lane loses the lead.
But he has to. That's the lane he's in. Those guys committed to the high line for right now, and they've got to push who's ever in the high line, whether it's your teammate or not. It makes no difference.
Jamie McMurray in that 26 car won in his second career start. Has not won in the last 166 races. Look at him go.
Now this is dangerous though for a leader. When they get out front, then that pack will charge up and they'll have a really good run on him, and that's where Jamie's got to make sure that he doesn't get too far ahead of this pack.
Jamie needed that on the last lap, not 3 laps ago. But if these guys can, if they stay pinched off and they can keep them run down here on the bottom like that.
They're getting a run right there. Boy, Carl Edwards in that 99 car had a run on the 5 car.
Less than 2 to go.
Kyle Busch is still hammering that thing right down on the bottom, sideways. That's incredible. He is doing a great job.
See, I think if Carl will get a really good run here and he could give the 5 a push, it would take the 99 to second.
McMurray in that 26 car led early in the race, was black flagged for passing below the yellow line. Had to do a pass-through penalty, caught a break on a caution, has worked his way to the lead. Side by side with Kyle Busch as they come to the white flag.
Look at that. That 5 car is strong, man.
Not only is he strong, I'm telling you, he is trying to wheel up that thing too. He's going to be in the gas all the way. I don't care how sideways this thing gets.
Last lap.
And he needs to be, because if they wreck right now, he's got to be the first guy across that loop.
Kyle Busch now has his brother Kurt behind him.
The one thing is Kyle Busch has the inside, and because of where the start-finish line here is, at this place, the inside line is the line if you can maintain it coming out of turn 4.
Will Edwards,
oh man, I'll tell you what.
Will Edwards help his teammate, or will he make a move for the win?
I don't know if he'll be able to make the move for the win.
Kyle Busch is the guy right here. He's your winner.
He's going to have the momentum, and he's going to get to the line.
Coming to the checkers.
Oh, wow, that was close. I don't know.
Waiting for scoring.
I think the 26 got him.
It says 26 on the monitor.
Wow, great. My God. What an incredible finish.
It does not get any. I don't know who. Like I said,
that was incredible. I would have bet all the money in the world Kyle Busch had that thing when he came out of turn 4.
NASCAR's going to look at the video.
The 26 surged right there, right at the line.
It's like the Truck Series races that we've seen here in the past.
You are the man.
Where you think?
Jamie McMurray has won the Pepsi 400.
Great job, guys.
Man, that was great.
That's incredible.
Watch the 26 just get a surge right before the line.
It's his teammate right behind him, Carl Edwards.
Right there, the 5 had the advantage, and he had the momentum.
And here they are, and you see.
Now watch right here.
Right there. You see it start to move again.
Remember the finish in the 500? How about that?
That's good stuff.
That's incredible.
Jamie McMurray replaced Sterling Marlin after Sterling was injured in a crash. He won his second career start, but has not had much success. He changed teams. He went to Roush. He's gone 166 races without a win until this moment, just seconds ago.
And hats off to 5 car. He drove the wheels off that race car tonight for a second place finish.
Last race at Daytona for this car, and this race will be remembered for how well the cars did and the drivers.
Hey, Wally and Bill, what I don't understand is about 200 or 300 yards before the start-finish line, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch's brother, moved up against Carl Edwards, and I think that's where Kyle lost his push right before the finish line.
Yeah, but hey, those guys aren't teammates, and he didn't. Kurt Busch didn't come here to help Kyle Busch win. He came here to win himself, and when he was doing that, he was fighting for position.
Absolutely.
Unofficially, it's Jamie McMurray, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Clint Boyer, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, let's watch what Larry was talking about on the 2 car. And you know what? I don't think it had anything to do with his brother. I think the 2 car was more concerned about beating the 99 car.
Yeah, he was definitely more concerned about it.
Yeah.
And you see, when he gets here, he's ahead of the 9.
Ralph Shaheen.
Well, I'm down here with Larry Carter. Larry, what an incredible night. You guys led, you had the penalty, and you got back to the lead, and now you're the winner. Can you put into words how this night has been sitting on top of that pit box?
Well, I tell you, down here at Daytona is always really stressful. You know, you just kind of sit there and wait to see what's going to happen, and you always hope you can be there at the end and just have an opportunity to win it. And Jamie just did a super job. He never lost his composure. He just stayed up on top of the wheel, and we've had a pretty fast car this week. And, you know, we were just lucky there at the end, and just glad to bring it home for Irwin and Crown and Jack Roush and Roush Ace Engines, and all those guys did a really good job.
What was the one key to you guys fighting all the way back through all that adversity?
Just Jamie. It was all Jamie. I mean, this is a race car driver's track. I mean, they don't do much qualifying, but in the race, it's all about those guys. And he just stayed calm, never got excited, just worked his way, you know, was real cautious with what he did, and he deserves it. He did a great job.
Bill, as you can see, there's not a lot of emotion in Larry Carter. I asked him, boy, you don't look like you just won. He says, hey, we got another race next week.
You kidding? He's thrilled. That's him being thrilled. 31-year-old Jamie McMurray, just the second Ford win of 2007. He goes to victory lane, and we'll take you there next on TNT. TNT Sports is live at the Daytona International Speedway. Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Time for the Pepsi post-race show. Plenty of fireworks here at Daytona. You can go all the way back to the Daytona 500 in February. Kevin Harvick just edges Mark Martin. You know something? That's like a mile compared to what we just saw.
This is just edges somebody right here.
Yeah. This is 5/1000ths of a second. Jamie McMurray will always be known as a Daytona winner. He's in victory lane, and here's Marty Snyder.
And what a long road this has been for Jamie McMurray. It's been October of 2002, his second career start. He won then, and here we are 5 years later. He's back in victory lane. 166 races. It took a while, but I'll bet the wait was worth it. Look at the high fives from his team diving into the mosh pit. This is one happy victory lane. We'll catch up to him. Did you ever think this day Jamie wasn't going to come again?
Oh, you know, I always said that, or I said it for 5 years, however long.
Larry Carter is crew chief.
I said that, you know, there would never be another victory like Charlotte, and when you wait so long to win, well, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's just, it's incredible, and every driver out here that goes through that knows how special this is. So, you know, I started crying, and I'm like, what are you crying for? Just because you're happy, you know, celebrate. But I'm happy for all these guys. We had a tough year last year, and Irwin and Crown Royal, Coke, everybody stuck with us, and I cannot believe I'm in victory lane at Daytona, of all places.
I can't tell you how exciting those last few laps were. How were they from the cockpit?
I didn't know it was the last lap. Carl, you know, I mean, he helped me win the race. He shoved me and probably could have made it 3 wide, but he pushed me to the win. So huge thanks to Carl Edwards. But they said it's the last lap, and I knew we were going to rub doors all the way here. And I did want to get on the bottom because I knew the outside would have the run, but I don't believe it.
All right, you can relax now. It's true, Jamie. You won at Daytona.
Cool, thank you.
All right, Jamie McMurray in victory lane, and it's a very happy victory lane, Matt Yoakum.
And what an exciting day for Kyle Busch. He took the Busch Series win this morning, and last year he was second and almost took the Pepsi Firecracker 400 victory. What a final lap. Take us on that last lap, and if you could do anything over again as far as your strategy, who you could work with, what would you do?
Well, I think everything was kind of going pretty well there. You know, we were on the outside there pushing Jeff or somebody there for a little bit, and then there was an opening for me to go to the inside, so I ducked down and went to the inside, and then there was a hole a little bit later for Jeff to get in behind me. and the 48 was there, and he got shuffled out. But you know, we just didn't have much help from the teammates tonight. But you know, our Clarkos Kellogg Chevrolet was pretty fast, and it had to be the best Hendrick car out there. So proud of that effort by all the guys, and just being able to run up front all night. And got to thank my brother there for pushing me at the end and sticking with me. But you know, going into 3, I think if I would have lagged back just a little bit more, let Jamie get further ahead, I probably could have had a better suck and side draft coming down the front straightaway. But as soon as I started slowing down, he started slowing down. So there wasn't much we were going to get by with there.
Well, I know it was very close looking through the windshield. Let's try to roll it back so you can get an eye view of what it looked like on film, because it was a photo finish. Here we go, out of turn 2.
All right, this is a long ways back. I knew that he can beat me however much he wanted to down the back straightaway. I was just kind of relaxing at that point and looking at my mirror, making sure to see who I had behind me. And getting into 3, I figured, well, I'm ahead now, so he better slow it up and get back closer to my brother's front bumper and let him get ahead. So that's what I'm doing right here, is just trying to whoa up. And I figured, all right, that's probably good enough. I better get rolling here and come up and get the side draft off him. And I guess I must have got it a little bit too soon or something, but I don't know, maybe if I would have held it down low, I would have won the thing. From that angle, I won. I don't care.
Hey, great night tonight.
All right, thanks.
And here's one more look. Take a look at this little picture here. That is how close the final race in this car configuration was at Daytona. Look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty close. There ain't much there. ain't much I could have done different, I guess.
As BP would say, man, oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ralph?
We're down here with Kurt Busch. Kurt, just like you and I talked at New Hampshire, this team's been building a tremendous amount of momentum lately. You got another third-place finish on a restrictor plate track here tonight. Where's all the momentum coming from?
Well, it's just good to run at a restrictor plate race. For us, we were really close most of the night, really good on the long runs, but on the short runs, it seemed like all the cars could gang up and be there at the end. And for us with the Miller Lite Dodge, well, it was a great run. Whether we won, pushed Kyle to victory, I really wanted to do that. Just couldn't quite get there at the end. So I'm real happy with third place. Plate tracks have been good to us. We just need a little bit of luck the next few races.
Lindsay?
Clint Boyer rode to a 7th place finish. Clint, what are your feelings after leading there towards the end?
I was a little bummed out, actually. We just got too far behind. Had too many teammates behind us teamed up on us there at the end, but you know, Gil and everybody on a Jack Daniels Chevrolet just brought me a heck of a race car and gave me a good chance. We about got there. I'd say we was out in the lead, and the ignition box of all things just cut out. And, you know, that was so weird. It took me a second to figure out.
Fireworks, of course, going.
It just took me a while to figure out what happened. We hit the other ignition box and it took off again, and you know, that was kind of a bummer. Got us set back, and then we get back in the lead, and I'm thinking, man, we might have them after all. And then you know, they just went around me, but it was a good effort, a good day for us. We needed a good point stay to get us back in this thing, but man, I wanted to win that thing.
And Matt, I know that Clint is not superstitious, but is it any irony that it's 7-7-0-7 and he ends 7th? Matt?
Could be, and Jeff Gordon had a great top 5 finish. At times it seemed like we were at Talladega. At other times it seemed like we were at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. How crazy a night was it for you?
It was nuts, man. We weren't very good. You know, we really struggled, and I got to give a lot of credit to this race team because they never gave up. They made great adjustments, and you know, this DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet was pretty awesome there at the end. You know, I got into the outside lane, made some good moves, and you know, then I was just kind of stuck there. And I made a bad move when I tried to go around the 26th outside. It was too early, and I thought I was in big trouble. But you know, I had the momentum, so I tried to go with it. Luckily, I got back to the inside and got back up in the top 5. And the top 5 is a great finish for us tonight because we had about a 12th, you know, 15th place car, and that was a great effort.
Typically here, you always have a certain lap in your mind. You need to start making your way to the front if you're at a certain point in the field. Was it different tonight?
I was trying to get the front every single lap out there. You know, luckily the cautions fell right for us where we got to get 4 new Goodyears, and you know, when the cautions fell, we were able to either come in and get 4 more, or we stayed out that last time, and we had track position, and you know, then we were able to get the lead. And I mean, unfortunately, I lost my drafting partner Casey Mears, and also in Jimmy Johnson. Looked like, you know, those tires finally wore out on Casey, so I knew I was a sitting duck at that time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, great job to Jamie McMurray too. He drove the wheels on that thing. He was completely out of control, but he got it to the finish line first. That's all that matters.
Jeff Gordon, 5th here at Daytona. Ralph.
Well, we're down here with Carl Edwards, who had his best restrictor plate finish of the year. Coming into tonight, he had done better than 23rd, now a 4th. What's made the difference?
Well, through a lot of the race, it's just my team. You know, the stops were great. My teammates worked with me really well. Now, let me tell you, I came here to win this race, but I've never been so excited to see somebody else win. You know, to see Jamie McMurray and that 26 team get a win, that's really special. And, you know, there at the end, I had a decision. In turn 3, I thought, man, I could make it 3 wide, or I could push him. And I just thought I'd push him. He's a good guy, and he deserves to win. He works hard. Just awesome to be a part of a race like that.
Dale, it's been kind of a tough year for the Roush team, but tonight, 2 cars in the top 5.
It almost looks like those guys had fun tonight. You know?
Well, now that it's over, they're having fun.
Okay, got a couple things to sort through here. Jamie McMurray led early in this race, but watch here. He's going to go down left side tires below the yellow line.
Got black flag for that.
Had to make a pass-through penalty and basically was a half a lap behind the pack.
Caught a caution at the right time to stay on the lead lap.
Then worked his way to the front, and then this is the finish. NASCAR began electronic scoring in 1993. Since that time, this ties for the second closest finish since they began electronic scoring in 1993. It ties with an Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt win over Ernie Irvan at Talladega in July of 1993. The closest finish was at Darlington in March of 2003. Ricky Craven beating another Busch, Kurt Busch. So Jamie McMurray in victory lane. So we certainly want to thank all of our sponsors that participated in our TNT wide open coverage. Ford, Nextel, Miller Lite, AutoZone, DirecTV, our friends at Goodyear, Larry Mack and those hard-working people at Subway Restaurants, the Principal Financial Group, Toyota, and Pepsi. Let's check in with Larry and Mark Fine.
Yeah, Bill, I just got done wiping some more mustard off his face. Larry, let's talk. Definitely an eventful race tonight. No shortage of excitement. We know the winner was black flagged early in the race. He wasn't the only one with issues, though, but just because you had issues didn't mean you weren't going to obviously have a chance to compete.
Well, I think those guys had to keep their focus. They had their cheerleader, their spotter, cheering them on, coax them. Hey, we've got a good race car. We can make it back. I think it's been documented about Jamie McMurray going out of bounds below the out-of-bounds line, having to do the drive-through penalty. We talked to Clint Boyer. Ignition box failure there right in the middle of the pack. He flips that back and gets back up to the front, leads that thing late in the race. Give a call to Casey Kane and Kenny Francis. That car, the 9 car for Evernham, pretty good crash there on lap 3. That kept fighting back, and who would ever believe this would only be his second top 10 finishes? But I think, all in all, Mark, you've got to give a huge call to the Roush Fenway group. This is a racetrack that Chevrolet has been normally the dominant manufacturer over the last 5 or 6 years. They've won 11 of the last 13 races. The Cat in the Hat, Roush Fenway, all 4 of their 5 cars up there in the top 7 or top 8.
Yeah, 11 of the last 13 coming into this race, and 7 straight before Ford got the win today. Bill, back up to you guys.
Thanks, you guys. Hope you enjoy the race. It was fun to watch and work with you. You saw the finish order on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. We're running the points for you now. Jeff Gordon now 277 over Denny Hamlin. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 12th, but just 49 points ahead of Jamie McMurray. That's the final spot, obviously 12th, to get in the chase for the championship. This is why they sell tickets at Daytona and Talladega.
Well, it's a different race than we see in the 500 in February, and I think it's a funner race to watch, Kyle. I mean, because these guys are working a lot harder. Their cars are sliding around, and well, it obviously doesn't get much more exciting than the finish we had here tonight.
Yeah, this had everything. This had a slick racetrack, so drivability was critical here, more so than the aero that we talk about all the time when we go to Daytona and Talladega. Pit strategy, whether it was 2, whether it was 4, whether it was pit, whether it was not pit, it didn't make any difference. And finally, it comes down to an 8 or 10 lap shootout, and it's some of the greatest race car drivers in the world. I've gained a lot more respect in the 6 weeks that I've worked up here with you guys for what these guys can do on a racetrack, because these guys are magic in a car.
It's amazing to watch week in and week out, and especially especially at the restrictor plate tracks. Next week, it's NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Chicago. Join us next Sunday. Our coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern Time with NASCAR on TNT Live, followed by the Countdown to Green, and then the race from Chicago. Now, coming up next on TNT, it's a special encore presentation of 24 by 24 Wide Open with Jeff Gordon. But this broadcast team is not done. We're going to the internet. If you want more post-race coverage from here at Daytona, go to NASCAR.com for the Jack Daniels post-race show. Our entire TNT crew will meet you there in just a matter of seconds. We'll have more interviews and more race analysis. Hope you enjoyed our wide-open coverage from Daytona. Jamie McMurray will always be known as a Daytona winner. SeeIt.com.